all here with my boy iNTRO on Pedestrians Crossing, man. You know, we're giving creatives a chance to just talk about themselves and their creative endeavors. But yeah, man, I just wanna give iNTRO a chance to introduce himself.
Yep, that's me. I'm intro. Um, all around creative, musician first, rapper, creative director, event planner, thrower, promoter. Um, all under the umbrella of just trying to do this thing and grow this thing that's bigger than me. Um, yeah, from Nashville, born and raised, out south, Hermitage, Donaldson, Antioch, like out north. Shit, I got seeds everywhere. Pause. But yeah, man. Happy to be here.
Yeah, bro.
Appreciate you,
Glad
man.
you pulled up, man. I'm glad you pulled up. First episode, a little pilot, but I think so far so good, man.
Hell yeah, almost.
Yeah. Hey, a couple rough starts, but here we are.
No,
We're
for
doing
sure.
it, man. We're doing it. Man, I guess I'd love to just kind of hear a little bit about, your creative background. Yeah, and what kind of just has inspired you as well on your journey.
Word. Yeah. Man. Again, taking it all the way back. I grew up. My whole family, does music. From my uncles and cousins and brothers. Everybody pretty much. Growing up, it was kind of not really instilled in us in like a you gonna play an instrument, but like it just kind of happened. Like literally, I'm sitting here thinking about it right now, and damn near everyone in my family plays an instrument or sings or does something. Yeah. So yeah, growing up, my grandmother, I remember she put me in piano lessons, and I was in concert band. My uncle plays trumpet. My other uncle plays piano. So pretty much anything anyone else played, I picked up and was able to learn from them and things like that. My first instrument was the djembe, an African drum, and that was a product of like again my cousins and again my grandmother and aunt just exposing us to things that weren't right in front of us. Especially growing up just being African American, black, whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of things that unless someone shows it to you, you don't even know it exists,
Right.
and that's in life. But like
That is.
I'm just talking about it and reflecting on it. I'm like really grateful. You know what I'm saying? That I was even introduced so young onto something like that. But yeah, I mean that's really just like a smooth foundation of how I am where I am now. Yeah. Again, I say I was in the drum line in high school. Yeah, stuff like that. Like again, music has been in me since I came out.
Man, that's so wild. That's tough. I guess, how would you, describe the kind of music you make, or what kind of genre would you put that in?
That's always a funny question because I'm like, man, who do I sound like?
Yeah.
But I feel like that's for other people to almost like dictate because I think I sound like me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
I'm
like
obviously
that. That's good.
obviously
Of course,
influenced.
of course.
Yeah. But aside from that, yeah, I just think I'm a product of all my influences. And my own like spin or however I've like turned it into what I do. But that shit groove. Like you know what I'm saying? I don't who do you think I sound like? Nah, for real. Like
Man, I don't know. It's hard, bro, because you have like this jazzy kind of feel, but it's also like hip hop, and then
yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like whenever I saw you performing live and you had the live band, it just felt like it felt natural, but it didn't feel like you were like rapping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I feel that. I appreciate it too.
Yeah.
But and I think that comes from, growing up with again all of these influences, all of these instruments around
100%.
me, around the house. Like anytime, like Sundays we clean it up. You hear that music downstairs, you know what's going on. So I feel like a lot of that is just like subconscious stuff. You know what I mean? And especially in my beat selection and like
Right.
the sound and all the jazziness or however people describe it. I think that comes again from growing up to my grandfather again having like the record player and just sitting there on the perched up watching the thing like how is this needle touching this and this beautiful sound coming out of it.
100%.
And that again going from Miles Davis to Herbie Hancock to Stevie Wonder to Marvin Gaye to like deep cuts, you know what I mean?
Right.
Prince, but anybody as a kid, like I'll be playing video games or whatever and hear him call me downstairs and be like, hey, listen to this breakdown or whatever
that's sick.
bridge or listen to how they do this. And I'm like, I'm killing people upstairs right now. You know what I mean? But like, as I'm older, I'm like, I have these memories of those exact things, and I'm like, man, I am so grateful that he was planting that seed then.
100%.
Even if like again, I wasn't grasping it then, the seed was planted and has over time been watered, and you know what I'm saying, the soil has been replaced to where I'm like, oh shit, this is why I like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not even realizing it. But then the question was like, what is my sound? I really don't know. Again, like I think it is that a culmination of everything I've grown up listening to. What I like today,
right?
Like, yeah, and it's just like I want to make stuff that is pretty universal to where like my little brother can listen to it,
right.
Or like my grandmother can listen to it,
that's it.
Or my mom can listen to it. You know what I mean? Like, even if I'm cussing or whatever, just having it tasteful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really, and I just appreciate the musicality of a lot of things, man. Like loops are cool. Like I love that, but also I love just like really just like technical stuff, and again hard bridges and things that like I really describe music a lot of times as emotions. So I'm like, if I'm working with a producer or something, I'll be like, I might show him a picture. I'm like, I want it to sound like how this looks.
Oh, that's
or
sick.
like
okay,
how
I like that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I want it to give off a certain feeling of either angst or like however, like one of my uncles, he plays in the band with me, and he described this thing to me as called like tension and release. So if you listen to a lot of like Tyler the Creator songs, his chords might have like a real funky, like it might tickle your ear like right in a crevice, and it's like, yo, why does this make me Who Dat Boy?
Yeah,
no, Who Dat Boy?
Dude, I almost skip it every time,
no,
bro, because it always is like,
no, for real, that's exactly what it is. Like, so the beginning, that is the tension, and it's like rising, and then the beat drop is the release. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
And that is something he told me that I was probably like, again, 17, and he was teaching me about it, and I'm like, yo, that's it.
Yeah, it is.
That's music all the time. You know what I'm saying? That's why we love drops. That's why we love, you know what I'm saying, anything that goes along those lines. I'm like, yeah, I want that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I haven't heard of that, and like now that I'm knowing that, I'm gonna listen more for the tension and the release.
Yeah, you know, just like a lot of like neo soul songs do it, where like the drop again, a funky bass line comes in, and you're just like, oh, that's the relief I was looking for. Like, yeah.
Like, what is the kind of feeling being up there performing? Do you get nervous? Are you confident?
Man, yeah. It's weird. It's not. I wouldn't describe the nervous I get as like, you know, the textbook nervous, like of just like kind of being like, I was just gonna go. My nervous is more of just like, this sounds corny as fuck. Like this sounds like interview ass answer. No, but like my nervous is more like, okay, what can I learn from this?
All right.
Like, what am I about to learn from this performance? Because like, again, not even talking that shit, but I mean talking that shit, I'm pretty good at what I do as far as performing.
Yeah.
'Cause I've been performing my whole life.
Yeah.
Whether it's been a church recital or again marching band. Like, I didn't realize marching band. Yo, we are in a stadium, and like,
people are watching.
You don't
bro.
think about it like that, but I think like I don't know. I didn't, but now that I'm looking back, I'm like, yo, when someone asks me a question like this, I'm like, I've kind of been preparing for this without even knowing I have.
Right.
So again, like the nervousness are things like, okay, what am I gonna say between songs?
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like performing is something that I like really enjoy because I know that I'm pretty good at it. You know what I'm saying? So like I get excited more than even nervous. But it's like, man, that feeling being on a stage, bro, like it's different, bro. It's really different. And even last night I was DJing this set at my homie's gallery, and it's the same kind of thing where it's like when you're on stage, for me personally, I don't really see anyone. Like it's weird. Like even if it's like not even the lighting. Like last night, the lighting was wild to where I literally didn't see anyone. Like the lights would come. So if there was a crowd of people, I didn't see them till they're like right in front of me. But for me, again, like when I'm on stage, I kind of look at. It sounds weird as fuck, but I'll see the crowd as like one big person.
Nice, okay.
Like it's really weird, and the way I visualize it is like some creepy anime. But like, if I see a collective, like, then I know I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? It's something like I've picked up recently where I started thinking of myself like when I'm on stage, I started thinking of how I go to concerts. To there might be a concert I'll go to where I don't jump around, I don't put my hands up, I don't wave around, but I will be thoroughly enjoying the show.
Right.
But I'll be there looking like this the whole time.
100%.
And like someone else might look at that person in the crowd and be like, damn, he's not liking
having
this.
a good time.
But I'm like in my head like, yo, this is phenomenal. And I'm like taking notes and doing things like that to where, so with that and like describing how I see the crowd, it's like, I'm not really on the tip of just like, man, I need to make every single person in the room wave their hands with me.
Right.
It's like, as long as I got, a collective, like,
just a good little,
you know what I mean? And especially when it comes to DJing, the same thing, because I'll be in a bar, in a club or whatever, and like the DJ will be rocking it. And like, he won't be able to tell that I'm enjoying it because I might be talking to someone or whatever it is. And it's like, these are like little notes that I've picked up and learned from performing so much recently.
Man. Yeah. I feel like hearing those things though could help someone like that's overthinking, like kind of just chill out, bro. Like,
yeah, man, because like again, thinking about yourself as a consumer and whatever you do, kind of like will like relieve you in a couple areas. You know what I'm saying? Because again, just going back to being at concerts and not really like jumping around or engaging that much, you'll see like it's like say you're at somewhere and someone's DJing and they're playing all like really good songs, but then like that one song that's like your shit.
Yeah.
Like you'll turn around and be like, yeah. Like that might be your only interaction with the DJ the whole night. But then you might go home and be like, yo, that was a crazy set. Like
that's
he was
true.
Doing this thing, but I don't even know that. I think you only knew and liked one song.
Yeah.
So again, I'm thinking about it. I think about shit like that to where it's like, man, as long as I can get like again a groove, a shoulder, a two-step, then I know like this person like noticed.
Okay.
I know that they noticed. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, I'm really blessed to have performed as much as I have this year because I have learned again so much after every performance.
Yeah.
Like I've picked up something and like been like, oh shit, okay, I need to do more of this and less of that. You know what I mean? Hella grateful for shit like that.
Yeah, bro. I mean, the performance at the dive was like, it was wild, bro. I was impressed.
I will definitely keep that one.
Yeah,
That's like,
bro.
Yeah. That was a really cool one. I'm appreciative of even having the opportunity. The homie, you know Chuck Indigo?
I don't know him like that.
Yeah, so he's one of the homies. And we have a collective third eye, and he really lobbed that to me. Yeah, me and like the other homie Jody Joe and Shrames. He like we had a residency at the dive every month, and that one he kind of just was like, "Yo, y'all take lead on it," and I was like, "Yes." I've been waiting to have like a platform to really like show like what I can kind of do, like and yeah, the way that he like really lobbed it, and I did a 360 windmill like between the legs.
Though,
yeah, like it was really, I really appreciate that opportunity, and yeah, I had never done anything like that before, like especially like pool party type, you know what I mean? It's like that.
It was bigger than just a show.
Yeah, it was way bigger than the show. That's kind of how we promoted it. We didn't want to promote it as just like a concert.
Right.
We wanted people to just be able to come and enjoy the space.
100%.
And that goes into like what I'd be describing of like, man, there was so many people there. There's no way I could have got every single person to wave their hands. But as I'm looking deep into like the back corners, I'm still seeing people.
A good little bump,
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm doing what I need to do.
100%.
You know what I mean? So that really that show was a good like checkpoint. You know what I'm saying? I've been describing this journey of just what I've been doing as like a book. And I feel like that'll have a good like couple 3 pages in the book of what's going on. The dive show was sick, man.
Bro, it was legit for sure. Bro.
And it set up a lot of things for me too. Like that's why I'd be hella grateful for that show because I got a lot of leverage as far as like again, that was an event that I really was hands on from like recruiting the lineup with Joe and getting the flyer and like the photo shoots and the promotion and all the rollout, like all of those things. That was something I like really touched on everything, and I was like, I learned a lot just from like, man, if you want something done, do it.
Do it.
You got to, man. Like, I'm grateful. Grateful as well.
How long did you plan for that event?
So we started really planning it. Like I said, we had every third Thursday of the month for the summer. So after the one in May, we like really just met every couple weeks or whatever, up until the next one and just planned. So we had like a month of planning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that long, but it was really long enough.
Yeah.
And man, that's again like being able to show what a motherfucker can do when I'm like giving the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be milking it because I'm like, that was something, bro. That was something, and grateful for everybody that came too, because it was like, again, we only had a month.
Yeah.
And rolling it out and just like getting into people's faces and like showing them like, yo, this is something y'all want to come to. This is something different. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And the Dive, bro, the Dive Motel is just such a dope venue.
It is.
Anyway,
so
like
cool.
it's like one of a kind to where like no one else is really, I mean, we have other venues with pools, but like not the Dive.
That was
you know what I'm
different.
saying?
Yeah.
It was different. And people were saying that to me as they were here. Like, yo, I didn't even, it was on Dickerson Road. Like, we didn't even, you know what I'm saying? We didn't even realize where we were at. And like, yeah, bro. It was a good move.
That was successful for real, man.
Hell yeah.
And then you just did the flea market as well, which was also really dope. Really dope.
Yeah. My New Year's resolution, I didn't even like have one or write one, but I kind of just told myself like, yo, if there's something that you are going to think about, then do it.
Yeah.
Try it at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was telling someone again last night in a conversation, I would much rather know that I'm not good at something than wonder if I ever could have been good at it.
Swear, bro.
Yeah, man. So like that's where like a lot of these events and like curating things have come from, where it's like I've always, man, even my Instagram or just like pictures or like little things, people have come to my crib or whatever it is, and like I can make something look cool.
Right.
And like I know I have this like attribute in me. I kind of think of myself like a creative player,
Nice.
and I have stats.
Yeah, of
and
course.
like
Yeah.
anytime I do something, I'm like, okay, I got 2 points here. That was, you know what I mean?
I like
So
that.
I knew I had like a attribute column for that, and I just wanted to add to it, and again, like be trying things. And it started off really last year before I even moved to LA. I was just helping a couple of homies out with like videos of Nachos. Josh Nachos, he had a video shoot with Savvy.
Okay.
And I was just on set with him, just kind of like, really, I didn't even do a lot of input on that one. I was just like soaking it up.
Yeah, of course.
Seeing what that is like, you know what I mean? And that kind of, again, just like started sparking things of like, yo, I can do this shit, bro. Like, YouTube University.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
The best place.
Bro, even this morning, like, I was watching a video about like learning why people tilt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it creates a whole different mood to where, like, if you're looking at something straight on, to where if they skew it a little bit, it creates, it's almost like the tension and release that I was talking about, but just on a video point. But again, just with the flea market, that was inspired by this girl out in LA who throws a flea market, the Black Market Flea.
Okay.
Her name's Maya, and I think I went to 3 of them, and bro, like, first of all, I love Black people. Like, just the feeling, bro, like the community, the fellowship, like that something like that can create and did and does create. Like, I see her do it, and when I went to him, I was just like, man, if I can have this, like, you know what I'm saying, and create this for other people, because I know I wasn't the only one who was feeling that.
Couldn't be.
Feeling what I was feeling there, bro. Again, it was like deeper than just the like product of the flea market. It was, again, just like the community, bro. 100%. Like the space, the safe space, the like,
there's comfort. It was real.
The importance of having this space. You know what I'm saying? That's something that, like, yeah, I brought back, and just like really, she has a crazy blueprint that I went to the first one I went to, it was a pure consumer, but the other ones I was again doing homework, like, yo, how do you do this?
Right. How
do you create something like this and it goes smooth? And like, I'm sure there's a whole lot of behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying? And I learned that with throwing the one that me and Deshaun threw. But yeah, like, ours was just on the basis of our homies have cool stuff. And it's hard to get like a pop-up like in the corner of a store or it's hard to get your product in places. So like when you walk in, it was almost like a mall of all the homies brands, you know what I mean? Like, and just being able to like create that for them, for ourselves, and everyone who pulled up. Like, cause I know you were there for a minute.
Yeah, I was.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how the one in LA was too. It's like you pull up, and even after you're done shopping, or if you don't buy anything, it's just a space to be at where it's like, yo, this is it. Like, you know what I mean? Everyone looks cool. Everyone's like somebody, not even like in that way, but like everyone's just like cool. You know what I'm saying?
It was a good environment. Like,
yeah, bro.
It was just likewise people. Like, you could just pull up, and if you were there, it was like you were there. Like, everybody was there for a reason. It was a good time.
Anything that I kind of do, man, like any event I throw, I'm just like, man, all of the people that I think I associate with are cool.
Yeah.
But like if I can have everyone in the same place and then they meet each other,
Right.
then it's just gonna be a whole mob of just
cool
like
people.
you know.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of it, and I really the way I've been like the past couple of years, honestly, I've been realizing that like I don't what's the word it's free will. Nice. So I've been like really like not testing the waters of it, but just being like, yo, I really create my reality.
100%.
Like 1,000%. Like, and this thing is a video game to where like I have music playing all the time to where it's like I got theme music in the background at all times. Yeah. And all that to say is like anything I do is like, man, me DJing is because I want to be able to go to a club or a lounge or a spot, a kickback, and hear the shit that I like. Of course. You know what I mean? Like I want to be able to go anywhere and it be curated to like exactly what I want. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And not in a, again, controlling way, but just in a way of like, this is my life. Right. So, you know what I mean? I really, like, anything I'm doing is like, man, or anything I have my name attached to, it will fall under that umbrella of like, oh yeah, this is something that like falls into like, what I'm doing. And I hope that makes sense to people because as I'm listening to myself, I'm like, man, but nah, for real.
Yeah, dude, I think I can relate a lot. Like, I definitely think it's awesome how you're pushing into like different realms and like avenues, and it's not like, hey, I just make music and that's that. Like the fact that you can put on the flea market and the fact that you can throw events or that you can even go DJ is like just because you want to and like test yourself. I think that's important for creatives and like people in general to do that.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, it's like, on the free will tip, bro, it's like you have this life. So you might as well. Yeah. Honestly, like, I'm completely, utterly, ridiculously terrified of skydiving. Yeah. I don't see how that's fun to people.
I don't either.
I don't understand. I don't get it. But I guarantee before I die, Lord willing, like, I will skydive. Right. I will do it at least once just to be like, all right, I either really don't like that or actually I might like it. I didn't even realize it. Because even like that, I'm not ridiculously, it's not a phobia, but I'm kind of scared of heights.
Yeah, I get it.
So when the first time I got on an airplane, I was like, oh my God. It's going to be trash, but I love flying. Yeah. And it's funny, all my friends who know me, they're like, bro, you're going to like it. Someone like you will love being up there. And I'm like, damn, they were fucking right. Yeah. That's some really like, going back to the music thing, that's some real music video, like movie shit. I have my shit in and I'm looking out the window and I'm like.
Swear it is though. It's such a moment.
It definitely feels like a moment. But yeah, that's being able to, bro, being blessed to have like whatever gene that was passed down to me to have this like initiative to want to do things like this. I've talked about it to other people. It's like, you have people in the world who, and this is not negative tongue speaking. It's just like, are kind of like normal people, go to work, go home, 100%. Have the kids, watch Netflix, all just regular stuff. You know what I mean? And they watch us. Like, they go to the concerts and watch what we do, and they look at us like, yo, how? I could never, or whatever. So, all that to say, I'm just, again, blessed to, like, that I got dealt the cards to be one of the people that are doing it. Right. And take real, like, responsibility with it, too. Like, being way, as I get older, obviously, and I think it's going to happen with everybody, you just get way more intentional about the things you put your name on and the things you put out. And I just listen to old songs that I did. I'm like, what was I doing? You know what I'm saying? And like now I'm like, again, very like intentional with what I'll say. And even if I'm just talking shit on a song or bragging or talking about this, this and that, like still like being intentional about it.
I think that's like intentionality is a huge part of being an artist and like almost like a fine artist. Like anybody can take a photo with the phone and close their eyes and do it. Could turn out well. Yeah. But being intentional about like what you're composing and why you're doing it, how you want to make people feel with this is like probably one of the main keys of being like a true artist, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. And I just I'm just really, really, really observant. And I've had a couple like conflicts with myself of like, yo, am I a hater?
Yeah, right.
And it's like, it's a real thought because like I not necessarily have complaints about a lot of things, but I think I have really high standards for a lot of things. So when things that I see around me like don't reach those, I'm like, it's never in a negative way. It's almost just like, you can do better.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? It's always rooted in like, yo, I see the potential in this thing being way bigger than what it is. And that's that's where I was like, okay, I'm not a hater. Like I'm not a hater. I just really like, I like dope things and I want things to be the dopest or greatest or whatever that they can be.
Right.
You know what I mean? And even the flea market, I'm like, I looked at it and the first one, it was a success.
It was
1,000%.
no matter what.
But then taking a step back after it wore off and like we got the recap footage and was like, yo, this was sick. It was like, all right, this, and this. We got to do this better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every time. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know where I went or was going, but like that's the thing that I just, again, I've been realizing about myself recently is that I do really like, I want people to rise to the highest of their capabilities. And I had to get myself out of wanting that for people that don't want it for themselves or have not yet realized, let me 100%. Say that what it can be.
It can be toxic when you're trying to show that to someone and they just don't understand yet.
Yeah, for sure. I'm all about, like, I've said it before, I love putting people on. I almost like really get off at like showing someone a song, showing someone some good food,
100%.
a good, whatever it is, a movie, anything. I love showing, I learned something, I'm like, yo, you should know about this.
Right.
I love that. And again, I had to get out of like when people aren't receptive to it, like, yo, you need to know about this. It's like, bro, it's okay. You can't save everybody.
You just can't.
Everyone's not gonna like the things that you like. Like all of those things are for real. It's real stuff.
You just can't put everyone on.
You can't put everyone on, and like everyone don't want to be on.
That's the thing. Yeah.
That's something I really have learned, bro. Like for real.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. Oh man. Shout out to Afro Sheen and John Stamps because that was the first thing I'd ever like. Well, no, yeah, that was the first thing that I was at that they asked me to host. I've hopped on the mic at multiple things and been there, but like I was on the flyer with them, like hosted by iNTRO. Right. And that was, bro,
yeah, how was that?
That was sick because again, it was able, when I was on that stage, I couldn't see anybody. So I was just on the mic and I'm like, yo, make some noise. And I'm like, okay, they are there. You know what I'm saying? They are there. So with that, it was really dope to be able to, again, throw myself really just like a baby, just throw me in the water and like see what it's like. I literally never hosted anything. I don't have just like I feel like people who host or like certain DJs, they have like not necessarily a script, but they know what the hell to do. So I was just like, again, I was just up there on the mic just saying whatever and people fucked with it. And I think it comes from like, it sounds again head ass as fuck, but I think people like me. I like to think people like me. So I was just I really was just being myself. Good, and people again were receptive to it. And then even the next day, I remember this girl, she had commented on one of the posts or maybe put on her story, I can't remember, but she was like, yo, that was the best night of my life. Like your energy was everything. Whoa. And I'm like, whether she was just super drunk or she really meant it, that shit was like very reassuring and affirming and like, yo, bro, you can do anything. I never would have thought about hosting an R&B party. But then, like, they asked me to do it, and then I did it, and I was like, okay, I can host an R&B party. Like, for real. That shit. But no, that event alone was just really sick in the fact of we used to not be doing that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Nashville's does an R&B party, like, but maybe I'm young as fuck, so maybe I just didn't know about it. But, like, just that space, again, of having something like that and it being everyone pulling up under the umbrella of either like they know me, they know John Stamps, they know Afro Sheen, they like the Blue Room, or they like R&B. Everyone is in this room under the same umbrella. You know what I'm saying? And that shit is sick, bro. Just like seeing that, and the more events I do, the more events I'm a part of, just like taking note of things like that, bro. Like, okay, this is how you do this. This, if you want this crowd to pull up, promote it this way. Right. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of this stuff, anytime I do something, I'm going to keep repeating it. Like, I'm just like, yo, okay, I'll put this in my pocket. Like, and being able to just, like, take it and turn it into whenever I throw something like, oh, I've been in this situation because when I did this happened. And recently we had a show where the sub went out. Like, the bass, like, we had no low end. And at a hip-hop show, you can't do that. It's like, it does not, And shout out AB Eastwood. He was at the show, and he has all the knowledge, and he had like extra chords and XLRs and whatever we needed to like make it work. But rather than just being like, "Yo, can you come fix this?" I'm like right there with him. Like, okay, this was this. Oh, that's why this wasn't working. You know what I'm saying? Because I need to be able to know if some shit goes wrong, how to be
you
able to
can
do
do
it, and not just having to call someone or whatever it is.
Right.
So, yeah, bro, that's. I'm just talking. I hope that I don't know what kind of podcast.
That's good, man. I told you the conversation. Yeah, I think you're touching a lot on free will. Do you feel like the more you create in different spaces or mediums or avenues that like you're gaining more free will in a sense? Like the more of those things you haven't done before, do you feel each time you do it?
Man, honestly, like it's crazy because I kind of like bounce between free will and like this shit is all written. You know what I'm saying? Because like a lot of things, it's almost like how people treat religion. I fall back onto like it's almost always when something negative happens. Yeah. I'm like, man, this was supposed to happen. Yeah. This was written. This was going to happen. You know what I mean? And like when I'm doing different things, it does give me a like, damn, that's a crazy question. Let me really sit.
Okay, all right, we can come back to
no.
Okay,
like just like I want to give you like a for real answer on the tip of like. I
appreciate that.
When I do things, and especially when it's something I've never done before, it's almost like it was definitely written for me to do. It was going to eventually happen. And then also it's like I can't like I feel the free will of like I can do anything. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd never done this before and now I'm doing it. From DJing, for instance. Right. I didn't have a board 6 months ago. And now that I do, and even when I got the board, I was like scared to touch it because I was like, man, what if I suck?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like I'd done another interview where I said that I was like, man, I got to get out of like I'm so used to being good at things, head ass, but so used to being good at things that like when I'm not good at it, I'm like, this is dumb.
Is it? Yeah, it's the worst feeling, man.
I hate this. Yeah, right? Like, but luckily, again, I picked it up and was able to grab it pretty fast and be decent at it immediately. And yeah, it was just affirming of like, man, like if there's something I think I can do, I probably can. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And then if not, I'm working hard. If I really, really want to do it, I'm gonna work hard at it. Like and get to the point where I want to be. You know what I mean? Yeah. One of my homies, he's actually the bass player that's in the band I usually play with. Nice. His like day job, he's a pilot.
What? You know? A pilot? Nah.
Exactly. And he does like commercial pilots. He like takes parts here and there, whatever. But long story short, I've known him for like maybe 6-7 years, and probably longer than that, to be real. I'm not even gonna lie. But that don't matter. Yeah. But when I met him, he wasn't a pilot. Yeah. It was not even in like the scope of things. You know what I'm saying?
Oh and my God.
Then he was in my uncle's reggae band, and they toured and all this and whatever. And again, in 3 years, he went from not being a pilot to being a pilot. And it's like, bro, whether or not he did this or not, those 3 years were gonna go by.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's dope that like he really like saw it through. And I use him I'm bringing him up because I use him as an example all the time of like, there's shit that like, again, I'll look at and I'll be like, man, it will take this long to do something like that. Right. You know what I mean? And then I get back on myself of like, well, 6 months is going to go by anyway, nigga. So you might as well do it. So at the end of that 6 months or a year, however long, whatever it's going to take, it's there. Like with the album, me, like even right now, I'm about to start a new project and I'm like, I don't even have a timetable for it. I'm just going to do it until it comes out. But like whether or not this time is going to go by. Right. So I might as well, you know what I'm saying?
On it.
Hell yeah.
Man, that's a good mindset though to really have, because it's like real shit though. Time's going to pass. There's definitely been things like I just downloaded Ableton a month or two ago and I was like working on it. And I was getting so frustrated, and I was like, bro, it's going to take me years to, like, even get what I'm thinking. Bro. But realistically, if I'm alive in 3 years, bro.
Yeah, you're going to be way better than you were today.
Right.
And, like, that's something to where it's like, did you watch Kanye's documentary? Yeah. So I was watching that, and I'm like, yo, for real, he obviously has the natural and gifted talent.
He does.
But then aside from that, he worked.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And that's for anybody. It's like, I know anybody probably feels like they can rap or make beats or whatever. And it's like, you can. Yeah. But again, you can't expect to come in and be making what they're making when they've been doing this shit for years. You know what I'm saying? Forever. Like, that's yeah. That's just what it is. Yeah. You know? And even me, like, throwing events or, like, taking pictures or little, like, TikToks or whatever things I'm doing, I'm like, yo, why can't I make it like this? And
Right.
it's like, bro, because you don't know how to, because you haven't done it long enough. You just simply haven't done it long enough. And like, and I feel like today's times, things are so like right there and seem like instantaneous that it's almost like psychologically becoming a thing to where it's like, well, why isn't it like that? I can order food from my phone and it comes to my house real quick.
Right.
So why isn't this happening just as fast as other things happen?
Right.
And it's like, because that's not life, nigga.
Yeah.
Like, for real, bro.
Bro, it's facts. So I guess like as an artist for myself, I find like being patient hard and like just waiting, like, you know, like for my opportunities or just like waiting for whatever, you know. I see people's stuff and like I get it. I don't think I'm a hater, but I definitely could be.
No, yeah.
You know, like I just see people's shit and I'm like, bro, like why didn't I get to do that opportunity? Like I could have done that so much better and stuff like that.
I definitely have that. I mean, I think part of you're a human, bro.
Right.
So that's just a human thing to like, you know how good you are at what you do, and then you see someone else who, again, and you're not thinking of it or talking shit, but it's like, man, I know I could do this like better than they did this. You know what I mean? But that's something. That's a good example of me falling back on the this is written. This was written for them. This is written for me.
Right.
And man, like when I do have that, and there's someone even like one of my peers that I look at a lot of times as like we're pretty parallel in our trajectory of what we're doing, and that like he'll get something, I'll be super super proud of him, and all of that. But I'm also like, yo, I could do that.
Yeah,
I could do that too.
yeah,
like for real. And it's like, again, it's all in a healthy way of thinking
course.
it, but still, I definitely understand that feeling, and definitely like again fall back onto, man, I'm sure, or maybe not. He might look at some of the things that I do, and be like, yo, why didn't I do that? Like, why didn't I get that? Or like, why wasn't I a part of that? And again, it's just like the way things are written. I feel like everything happens when it's supposed to, how it's supposed to, and we kind of just like manipulate it a little bit to where it is, or like you can't really control the speed of how things happen, but like you can kind of like, again, if something's going on, it's how you respond to it. You know what I mean? Like if I was to get in a car accident when I leave here, I would definitely like, as it happened, I'd be like, this was supposed to happen, because if I would have left 10 minutes later, this probably wouldn't have happened. So this happened when it was happening. This car was going here when I was going there, and this was going to happen. And I can either be like, fuck this or that, or be like, all right, now what am I going to do?
Right.
This is happening. This has happened. What are we going to do now? And I feel like that's the part that isn't written. You know what I mean? And maybe it is. It's just, again, this is just how I think about it. But all of that is like, just going back to, again, the pure thing of like, I see this and I see him getting this. Why am I getting that? It's like, man, because it's not, you ain't ready.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
You ain't ready. And he might not be ready either. And this might be showing him that he ain't ready.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Same things that happen to us. So
it's true, bro. I've been humbled real quick thinking like, you know, those that in that manner, and I've been put into an opportunity thinking I was ready. And hey, man, I got humbled so quick. It hurt, bro. It hurt. And it was like, oh, I'm going to just chill and I'm going to just keep learning and hopefully I get another chance.
And that's, I look at that, I've had that.
Yeah.
I even like think of moving to LA like that. Like, I definitely had certain expectations and had a vision of how things would go. And then again, it's like when it didn't, how I responded was what was important. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I got in a car accident in LA and that shit sucked because I was like, all right, what the fuck would I do now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was in a transition period where I was going through some other things, and then it's like, all right, now I don't have a car. Like, what the fuck am I about to do? And I made that shit work. I made it work. And luckily I had fucking insurance. So like, things like that. But also, bro, like, I really could have like went into a hole.
Right.
And I could have went a completely different direction. And then like, it's so cutthroat out there, bro. Like, I definitely and am okay with saying like I had ideas and like was like, man, if he's doing it like this, fuck it. Like, I gotta eat. Like, and then I was also like, you are not that.
It's not. Don't.
It is not that serious. And like, I'm blessed. I got a family, so I was
of course.
Like, Mom, I need some money.
Yeah.
For real, like, no, for real. Oh my God. But no, man, like, again, like, I think that's kind of the basis of what we've been talking about the whole time of like trying stuff.
Yeah.
Like getting thrown into an opportunity, and there's been times where I got thrown into it and didn't think I was ready, and found out that I was,
Really was, yeah.
or just like found out that I was really able to finesse and like and really make some shit shake.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I found out that I'm resilient, and like that's things with LA too. Like getting my car broken into is like lost a lot of shit, studio equipment, clothes, like money, like real things, and made that shit work, bro.
Wow,
Still
yeah.
made that shit work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just doing what you got to do, and having like I'm blessed to how I grew up, and like I was having a real good conversation with my friend yesterday about like a lot of the things that I went through that I would like I could turn into a sob story or turn into this or like what was me type things, but like what they turned into. You know what I'm saying? Like being 14 and even younger, like and babysitting my little brothers who were only a couple years younger than me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't supposed to be doing that, but it's the cards that I was dealt, and I did it, and like it's turned into how I treat things today. You know what I'm saying? And just being like a lot of the characteristics that I carry with myself, I see that doing the things and how I came up or whatever turned into this. You know what I mean? For real, like, and it comes out in different situations. It comes out in like times where some shit happened at the crib. No adult was there, and I had to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that I'm like, oh man, this is why I have this characteristic today. Right. This is why I have this like gene or whatever it is today because of those things.
That's awesome. You can reflect on the past and like understand why you are the way you are doing the things you are. I think
and so I mean, there's still a million things that I don't know about myself. Yeah, but like the awareness, man, that was kind of what the conversation was about yesterday. Just having. I said it, and some people are going to get it, and some people are going to be like, what? But being aware that awareness is a thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Compared to people who don't even realize that they aren't aware because they don't know that awareness is you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what would you rather be?
Right.
Is a question that was asked. It's like, would you rather just be living and
just
like, you know what I'm saying, going about it, or would you rather be conscious of like, yo, shit is kind of fucked up.
Right.
We're all kind of fucked up.
Right.
And there's not really much we can do about it. But we here, so
let's
like,
just make it the best.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a thing, man. And I'm super grateful, super blessed, and super like grateful that I am aware. And super grateful that I can like, you know what I'm saying, have a sense of discernment about things. But it is wild. It is wild being like, yo, shit is fucked up out here, and I am just me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that translates into, man, like everything is pretty full circle because that translates into me being so big on community. Yeah, because you can't just do it yourself. No, that's why I try and do things that incorporate and are very inclusive and like just open for anybody and everybody. I always use this little quote about like, I want the drug dealers and the anime kids and the bad bitches and the art hoes and the, like anybody, like I want everyone in the same room, you know what I'm saying? And like, because a lot of times the bad bitch who loves anime and she might sell weed too, like it could all be one person. You know what I'm saying? So, but if it's five different people who all have that one, like I want them all to meet. Right. And know that, like, you know what I'm saying? This is, I posted on my story today. I was like, man, shit is bigger than you. It is. Shit is always bigger than you. Always. And it's bigger than all of us. So, like, yeah, man. Like, I gotta be rambling. I've been feeling like I'm watching too many Kanye interviews. Like, I feel like people will ask Kanye a question. And he'll be like, you said what? Well, I heard this. You know what I'm saying? And just go. His own thing, bro.
Nah, dude. I think that's sick, though, that you're able to be aware. I also think that's how you're also able to understand, like, there is this idea of free will and like how much you do have of it and whatnot. But I don't know. I think full circle, it's interesting that awareness brings out like you being able to step into another lane and like feel comfortable about it. Yeah.
Being kind of being aware that like, yo, again, this is this life, bro. This is the vessel. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is like, or the meat suit, whatever people call it. You know what I'm saying? The meat suit. This is like, but the spirit is what drives these things. Yeah. Like, and my spirit is like my guide for real. Like, I do things I don't just do shit to do it. Yeah. I do things that I feel like make sense to me and that I feel like are necessary. And I feel like that need to be done. You know what I mean? So it goes into when people tell me about myself or tell me like, yo, that was a dope thing you did, or like that event was cool, and I'm like, it's almost hard for me to take the compliment because I'm like, well, what else was I gonna do?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
thanks though.
I feel like I'm supposed to do a lot of the things I do, and that's why a lot of I have a mission statement which is everything, and like a business. Yeah. I've said this before too. Like when you walk into a business, whether like they sell pancakes or sell belts or screwdrivers, they have a mission statement on the wall of like why they sell this,
right?
Why we're here and what we're trying to like
accomplish,
put forward, with the things we do. And yeah, man, that's where like that's why I want to try so many things, because you know what I mean. Like if I can take what I'm doing with flea markets and take it to a summer camp. Like I work for a summer camp now. Like I'm saying, like there's things where it's like everything kind of connects in a spider web type of way of like something I might be doing over here, a piece of it comes out here because I did this. Right. You know what I mean? Like, and shit be so vague. I'm hearing myself talk. I'm like, yo, I hope people listen to this so they can get it. But it all really does tie in. It does. It really all does.
And I think it is situational, like depending on the individual and whatnot as well. But I think that vagueness is overall like a true statement. You know?
Yeah, you get it. Yeah. You know what I mean, like, and if you don't, you don't on some Brent shit.
Yeah.
If you get it, you get it. If you don't live it. But that's real because I feel like what I do is because of like. I live it, man. It's all so purpose driven, and like, it again. What else am I gonna do? It's like you doing video work or like photography. Like you have other things you do, but that's like the foundation, right? Like that's what you do. Right. No matter if you work for a big production company or you're just shooting stills of people, you're never gonna not take a picture.
That's true.
So with me, I'm never gonna not make music. Even my cousin last night, he was like, yo, so if you end up making more money, like throwing events and doing things like that, are you gonna like stop making music, or will that upset?
Great question.
Will that upset you that you didn't blow up off your music? And I'm like, nah, nigga, because I'm still gonna make music.
That's so true, though.
I will never not make songs. So like, if anything, it's just gonna be another thing to where like, yo, I don't really like his parties, but his music, is the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many fucking people. Like, there's no way that everyone is gonna like this thing that I do. So that's kind of why I diversify myself too. It's like, even when people meet me, I'm never just to like introduce myself as a rapper. You know what I'm saying? I just like introduce myself, and then we start talking. And it's like, oh yeah, I do that, or I do this, or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? I might not do anything, but they'll follow my Instagram and be like, oh shit, he does all this, right? And that's what I feel like the basis of a lot of shit is, man. I don't want you to necessarily like me because I made a good song. Right. Because like I could be a terrible person.
100%. 100%.
I could suck. But like because I can rap real good, or like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's a lot of like why that's how I just move kind of, you know what I mean? Like cuz I have a real like hard time separating art from artist.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Yeah.
So like I don't fuck with R. Kelly because he's a fucking pedophile. Right. Like I don't care how good the shit is. Like yuck.
Yeah, for sure though. For sure. So
yeah, it goes into like that's the root of like why I move like that, because someone could, and I'm sure there's people who could watch this and be like, yo, you did this fucked up thing, or you did this and you pissed me off this way, and I'm like, probably.
Maybe.
Sorry. Yeah. No, but not for real. I hope not. But, But you know what I mean? No one is obviously perfect. But just going off of that, man, is like that's why I do the things I do and why I do them that way.
Yeah. That's hard, bro. I was about to say, yeah, do you have a hard time like separating like yourself as a just very individual soul, like from your music or from any of your art or creativity? Like, do you ever see yourself as like a standalone, like without that creative side and like all those things you do?
That's beautiful, because that's such a real thing, and I wonder that about like my peers too, because even when I'm introducing myself to people, I don't know which name to tell them.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so most of the time I tell them both. But that's such a real thing. And it's something that I even have dealt with pretty recently of like wearing so many hats. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And still being on my authentic self, but like just knowing what hat to put on in what room. Like, it can become exhausting just because, again, at the end of the day, it's still me, but it's like I'm jumping between so many different things and so many different realms and so many different rooms to where it's like I do have to be grounded. Right. Again, you know what I'm saying? And like even just like working in the industry of like my actual 9 to 5 and like the creative industry, it's like I'm taking on so many other people's like things. Right. Whether it's like ideas or it's like actual emotions, like having to just balance and keep shit at bay. Because, like, again, I'm working at a summer camp, so I'm dealing with all these kids, and they have all these emotions. Then I'm dealing with, like, older people doing caregiving, and they're dealing with these emotions. And then I'm dealing with, like, stage design, managers, venue owners, band members, rappers, artists, singers, all of these things where it's, like, I am just me, and I have to remember that I am just me. So it's between myself, like, Desmond and iNTRO, like, I don't really have that conflict. But I have the conflict of the perception. Like, I wonder, do people like Desmond or do people like iNTRO? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or, like, that,
Swear.
Things like that. Yeah, it's a real thing. Yeah, for sure. And I have people that I've met recently who I met because they really liked what I was doing so much. That's nice. They really fucked with me. And then I end up just being like, yo, they're cool as fuck, too. So we're homies. But then it's still, again, it's weird, like, it's weird. It is weird. Okay, the homies that I'm talking about, obviously, they know that I love them, but whatever. But it's still, it's weird. Just kind of like it goes into the free will thing. I created this thing. Right. Before I decided to be a musician, be an artist, I wasn't. And now that I am, I'm recognized as such. Right. You know what I mean? And I've been saying this quote a lot recently. I can't complain about the life that I asked for. You know what I mean? And I can, but it's like I really did. I dreamt of this. I put this forth. I envisioned this, manifested it, whatever, like, and now that it's here, it's like, oh shit. Yeah. And like, it doesn't, I love it. Like, it's not, I'm talking about it and I'm like, man, fuck this now. Yeah, it's like, of course. It's just wild that it is. Right. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's been a wild thing. It's been a while. And I love it, man. I love just being able to learn. And because I know, like, a lot of people don't do this. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people make songs, a lot of people make music, but a lot of people, everyone is themselves. Like, there's every Sonder, you know what I'm saying? Everyone's life is just as complex. So, like, the fact that this is my reality, it's wild. Like, I be like, that quote, like, everyone's shit is just as complex as yours. Like, I be thinking about, like really? Right. Because this shit is wild. Yeah, right. For real. Like, so, damn, like, I can only imagine, man. 100%. And, like, that's where I feel like a lot of empathy comes from. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Realizing, like, yo, shit is bigger than you, bro. You ain't the only one going through something. Right. Like, it's wild. Yeah. It's wild.
It's wild. It's been nice to hear, like, the responses and just hear you talk as a creative and an individual, too. Like, because I had struggled with the same questions and think some of the similar ways you've been talking about, and also like, thinking about how someone's perceiving me, or it's like, oh, like I got this cool camera, I got all this cool stuff, like y'all, like do they fuck with me more because of the camera, or is it like they fuck with me? And it's not like I get both sides, like bro, I haven't gotten to hang out with someone on a personal level, so all you know is me with the camera. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, exactly.
That's why it's so hard sometimes to like separate those, and like sometimes people don't want to take the extra steps to separate those, and that's fine because like what I've shown you is what I've shown you, and like that's what we're on.
That's real, bro. That goes into so many different things. It's like even dudes getting girls because of like what they got or their car or their money. It's like, bro, this is what you showed her. That you got. So this is what she's gonna expect. Duh. Yeah. Like, what? Like
Simple as that.
Simple as that. But then also going into like people remember you as the last way they saw you. Right. So like there's this, man, the dive show. that show was crazy because I was like posting on Facebook a lot. And like when I was promoting it, so like people like from high school, literally I hadn't seen since I graduated.
Yeah.
Since the day of graduation, pulled up to the show and they were just like, yo.
Are you serious?
Like, because like I probably was putting out little like bullshit freestyles in my senior year.
Right.
Just little SoundCloud stuff, rapping over just like other beats or whatever. And they knew that like, okay, he's doing this. He's gonna try and rap or whatever.
Yeah.
But then them seeing all those people there, seeing me on stage,
100%.
Like, they were like, yo, this is a whole, like one of them specifically was just like, yo, I am so inspired. I want to quit my job. And like he didn't quit his job, but like him saying
still,
that,
though,
I was like, yo, that is so hard. Like
that's actually
like,
really hard.
And like also, this person was someone that I wasn't that close with in high school. You know what I'm saying? It was just we knew each other. It was cordial. It was like a what's up type thing. But just like him pulling up and just things like that, bro, would be like hella reassurance and just like I don't know, man. That alone, I don't know what sparked me to even remember that. That shit was.
That's still awesome though to hear.
No, wow.
We were talking about perspectives.
Oh yeah, perception, yeah, and like again, he remembered me as that's what it was. Mm-hmm. He remembered me as Desmond that was in the marching band,
of course,
in audio production. Again, who was like, yeah, he's finna try to do this little rap thing or whatever, and then him seeing it in fruition to like from then to now, kind of like how I was talking about my pilot homie. It's like, yo, I've been working at this. I graduated 2016. I've been 2020. I'm working at this 6 years. Is that right? Don't please. Don't
I'm not even
dumb.
gonna. Yeah, we'll just
No, yeah, it is. Okay, so yeah, quick maths. But no, for real, I've been doing this for 6 years now. So yeah, like you damn right, shit is different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even to me, even to this day, like I still feel like what I'm doing is like in the womb. Like this is the very, very beginning of and I'm 6 years in.
Right. And
I still haven't like birthed what is really going to be what I end up becoming. You know what I'm saying? I'm heavy on that. So big picture, so like long term that like everything I'm doing, as big and as cool or as small to someone else it may seem, it's like, this ain't shit yet. This ain't shit yet, for real. That's crazy. Like, do you know Sek?
I've heard about him. I don't know him.
Yeah, so Sek, he shot one of my first music videos, and he's a phenomenal creative. And he's been painting and just doing like visual art recently.
Nice.
And again, I've known him for like 3 years. When I met him, he was not painting.
Yeah.
He was not doing that. Yeah. And just like seeing him go from not doing something to having a gallery.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Showing off his art. You know what I'm saying? These white people pulling up and like dropping it on him for real for his pieces. And I'm like, yo, like, that's the shit I be talking about, bro. Like, if there's something in you, you might not know, but it could be something
it's so
for
true.
Real. Like, and that shit, like, you damn right, bro. You damn right. Like, that shit, you come back and you see it, and it's like, that, yeah, that shit. Like, I'm just thinking about it for real as I'm talking about it, and I'm like, that shit is real, bro.
It is real.
Shit's real as fuck.
It is too real, bro. Man, I'm glad to hear that, like, we can relate on, like, a lot of levels.
Me too, bro.
And just have common, I guess, like, experiences within different areas as well. So that's sick, bro.
Yeah. And, like, I was thinking about the perception thing you were saying. Like, even today, I went to the pop-up with the opening of No Free Coffee.
Yeah.
And the outfit that I had on, I was like, how do I want to be perceived? How do I, and I knew, like, oh, the camera, these pants.
Yeah, my homie, get the pants, bro, they're hard.
My homie in LA made them, and shout out Handle Con Care. But I knew these are a conversation starter. And I knew for a fact that if I walked in there with these pants on, someone was either going to look at me, say something, whatever it is. And, like, I, like, was really, again, on that tip of, like, I create the reality that I want or is going to have. 100%. Because if I would have worn something else, I could have been incognito in the corner or whatever. But you can't miss me when I got zippers everywhere and fucking, like.
You just can't,
you know what I'm saying? It's impossible. Nah. It's impossible. So, like, I just knew what I was doing. And, like, that's how, like, everything is so intentional, bro.
Yeah.
Because me being a creative, I'm aware that I am also a brand.
Yeah.
And I have to represent myself as such. So whether there was someone whether there was someone in there that knew someone that knew me, they'll be like, yo, who was that guy?
Right.
I'm like, oh, that was him. And then probably maybe give them my Instagram. It's like, oh, okay, either fuck them or damn, this is cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? So everything is so intentional, and like, and a lot of things like some people might think of like, no, that's not real. That doesn't happen.
Bro,
it's my
it's
thing.
The realest
you know what I'm
thing.
saying? Like,
it is.
Like how I look at it is again how I perceive things.
Yeah.
And I'm very like visual and very aware of like my surroundings to where like if I saw me, I would notice. You know what I mean? And that's I think about that everywhere. Something I do. I don't know if anyone else does this, but like if I have a conversation with someone or meet up with someone or any interaction with anyone, when I leave, say like when I walk out of here, I'm gonna be like, man, I wonder what he thought about that.
Swear every time
I'm gonna be like, I wonder what they're saying to their friend. If it's like two people that I'm meeting, they meet me, and I'm like, as I walk away, I wonder if they're like, yeah, that was a cool guy, or like, what a dick, what a fucking bitch ass nigga, bro. Like, no, for real, I really be thinking that. So I don't know what that's rooted in. If someone can tell me if that's an Aquarius trait, or
are you an Aquarius?
Yeah,
I am too.
Hey, that's why you think it. That's why you think it,
I'm sitting here like, man, this is crazy.
This is me.
Yeah, way too alike. What's happening?
When's your birthday?
The 5th of February.
I'm January 27th.
Oh, man. That's wild.
Damn, the 5th of you're a day after my grandmother. That's
wild. For real?
Yeah, she's February 4th. That's my dog, too.
Aquarius.
Yeah, for real.
Man, that's sick.
No, that shit is wild.
That is funny as fuck.
That is wild. And there's a lot of things like, I remember when I was first like getting woke, like in high school, like hanging out with my uncles. They're showing me like hella like books and documentaries and just like from Babylon to Timbuktu and just like all these things. I would think about like when you meet someone else and you automatically just like they know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you don't even know what the no is, but it's just like they know. Right. You know what I'm saying? They're here. Right. They get it. Like. I always wonder what that is, and like I feel that. I mean, I slick felt it with you because when we first met, it was just kind of like, oh shit, that was
we were
easy.
Just talking, yeah.
That was just easy. Yeah, and there was no type of like, no one having to prove themselves or any type of thing. And I'm not even saying that is a thing, but just like talking to someone and like having that phenomenon that happens. Swear. You know what I'm saying? That's always a wild thing to me, and it's always like I can always tell when someone's performing to. Let me not say always, but most of the time I can tell when someone's performing and like say we're even having again a woke spiritual whatever conversation. I can tell when it's just like, nigga, this is Instagram. Yeah, like this is regurgitated information. Like you don't feel this. Yeah, come on. Because if you felt it, then I would feel it. That when you're speaking, I don't feel it.
Dude, it's too easy now, bro.
Yeah, bro, for real.
So I guess kind of just closing things out. What you got coming in the future, bro? What kind of events are coming up?
I got a show tomorrow.
Yes, I'm pulling up.
Yeah, so I got a show tomorrow. Man, again, just putting together these events, and we're doing another fleet next month. I have a couple things that I like are in hella works, so I ain't even gonna speak on those. But just the things that are happening. Soho House, I have a show there. I'm excited about July 18th. And then
you're performing?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, putting on a show. Me and a couple of the homies. Hard. Yeah, that's
tickets out?
No tickets. Okay. Guest list. RSVP.
Oh.
Yeah. So
okay.
Definitely making that
move. Hard.
And yeah, man. Again, I just don't even. Aside from the things I'm doing, I'm just so blessed to be able to do these things.
No, for
real.
That's
something I always got to just touch back on because. Man, that shit is crazy. I look at this shit and I wake up almost every day like, yo, this is life. This is like, this is what's going on. Yeah. And like, I just get to do what the fuck I want to do.
Yeah,
like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And like, that shit is wild, bro.
It is crazy.
That shit is wild. Like,
crazy,
look, that shit is wild. My mom had me when she was 16. Like, I'm supposed to not be doing this.
Right.
Like, that shit is, so I give thanks all the time and like be trying to get people on that tip too. Like, this is bigger than me.
100%.
This is bigger than me. So, but yeah, man, these events that I'll be doing, I got some music coming out. I got some music. I got some shit coming out. But then yeah, after pretty much the summer, I'm gonna kind of go like 0 Dark 30 and really lock in on my next project. Nice. I've gotten like some concepts down and I'm excited. I'm excited for what that's.
I'm excited too.
Yeah, man. Like you asking me, about like the sound.
Yeah.
It's such a hard question for me to answer because like the sound is so malleable, and again, I'm influenced from so many, like from the polarity of where my influences come from is so wide that I have no idea what the next shit's gonna sound like. Again, I know the feeling, but I have no idea sonically what it's gonna sound like.
I feel like the feeling is more important though.
Yeah, man, that shit is that. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
bro.
I'm excited. Man, thank you again for this, man. This platform. I tell all the homies that do shit like this. It's so important because like us creators, bro. We love talking about ourselves.
I know, like who wouldn't want to do that, bro? I'm glad I can do. You did,
bro.
did.
Oh my god, that's just funny as fuck. But no, but yeah, man, that I really appreciate this,
dude. Of course,
for real.
This has been a great time. I appreciate you.
Hell yeah, man.
Well, I mean that's it, y'all. Thanks.
I told you my eyes give it away.
Yeah.
Have this the thumbnail.
Yeah. Do you want to give any shout outs or?
Man, bro. I don't want to leave nobody out. Fuck that. Yeah. No, because someone's going to be like, why ain't you?
Yeah.
No. Plus understood. Gotta be explained.
Yeah.
Shout out the homies. No, for real. Shout out all the homies. Shout out everyone who's ever done anything for me. For real. That's it. Hell yeah.
All right then.
Hell yeah. I appreciate you, dog.
You, bro.
Yeah.